debut grade of the year. I'm excited. What grade are you giving
Professor
the Cowboys?
Broussard.
Well, first of all, am I the only one that feels like Mike McCarthy was talking to Jerry Jones? We said we won by 3 scores. You know, just let him know, hey, we went to a playoff team last year, won by 3 scores. But I'm not calling them a playoff team. So let me see what the grade
are. They went to the playoffs.
But it's a new season.
It's a new.
So first of all, regular season game
does this.
And the Cowboys usually are great in regular
Not
season
on the
games,
road,
right? They won,
usually.
yeah, but they won 12 in the last 3 years, so check. Tomato can.
No.
With Deshaun Watson, I hate to say it, with Deshaun Watson at quarterback,
Absolutely.
the Browns are tomato
You had them as the best division
I had
in
them
football,
finishing, yeah,
third,
but I had them
and
finishing last. I had them
you
finishing
switched.
last.
Okay.
Pittsburgh third. So tomato can.
You had them in the playoffs.
Check.
I knew he was going to do this.
So the Cowboys is a regular season game that, you know, it doesn't mean as much as, you know, their big games. Against the tomato can, they did what I expected them to do. What they always do.
You're upset
they went out and play well, and we all picked them to win too. All right? Now, I'm not going to kill. They played well.
I'm not going to kill them.
I'm even going to give.
They dominated the game.
I'm going to give Zeke.
Oh my God.
Right, so I'm not going to kill him. Zeke actually looked pretty good. He was only 10 carries, 40 yards, but he looked better than I expected. That shows you how low my expectations were. But Zeke looked good.
So
Dak wasn't special, but this was a great pass. This touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
If you see it right, like against pressure, just perfect pass. They got what Micah was great. You know, 1 sack, 5 QB hits.
Do you agree that Dak, just while they're showing the video, they put it in ball control, kill the clock mode once it was very clear Cleveland was never going to move the ball at all?
Pretty
that,
much.
He could have had more
more
gaudier numbers.
He wasn't as efficient as you want.
He actually puts up big numbers when they lose.
But go ahead.
But I thought they looked good. So look,
so what's the grade?
I'm going to be fair.
One grade.
Do you see that and try to move the goalpost? Now you're going to say that Dak Prescott didn't have great numbers because they knew that they were going to beat the Cowboys. They were going to beat the Browns. I do not buy that for 1 second.
This is what I do. I don't. As much as I like teasing the Cowboys, I'm gonna be fair to the Cowboys.
Okay, good.
Get an A.
All right,
it was a great win.
Okay,
Great season opening win.
So it's got to be A's across the board.
Oh my God.
The offense, including the much maligned running game, that ran for 100 yards. They ran for 100 yards, Brew. They, as you said before, Zeke was fine.
Zeke was okay.
Rico Dowdle had his moments. They got the ball as two. We have to be fair. We can't mock the Cowboys all offseason, talk about those things, and then when Stephen Jones is like, hey, we're going to get the ball in CeeDee Lamb's hands on jet sweeps and other things, and they do and they work, we've got to be fair there. The defense was obviously spectacular. The special teams were the best in the league by a mile. While the whole world,
Chicago's was pretty good.
Chicago had a block punt, another team had a block punt, but I'm talking about they had a punt return, and their kickers out here banging kicks was getting ready to kick a 70-yarder.
I was hoping to see that.
While you guys, I feel overvalue most running backs in the league and the importance of that position group, while undervaluing the kicker position group, because the Cowboys might have the best kicker in the league.
I buy that.
And I think that's going to matter. The coaching was excellent, most notably Mike Zimmer, who was like, you know what? I don't think Deshaun can handle any of this. And I do not think it is fair yet to call the Browns a tomato can. Now, I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
That's what it is.
Right, but I don't think anyone is a tomato can yet except for Carolina and the Giants.
When do the tomato cans start?
Do you see how he's doing that? He's saying, he actually thinks that they're the worst team, one of the worst teams in the NFL, but now he's trying to act like they're not to try to juice up the Cowboys in at least this immediate segment and be like, well, we can't call them a tomato can just yet, but also deep down I think that they're a terrible team. Okay.
With all due respect, you are not in charge of tomato can.
Right, but if you
domain.
remember last year, you had to rescind a tomato can designation on the
was that?
Rams because you
But
thought
last
they
year,
were
early on, the Cowboys demolished the Giants week 1, and Brew was like,
right.
tomato can
I
alert.
think it's
The Browns are they unless they switch quarterbacks.
right. But here's I guess
their can is in the tomato can section.
okay. I mean, this is what the Browns defensively were though last year. If we can
right.
show you
Last
at
year
home,
they were
They were
fine.
injured.
Last year at home,
as Travis
last
O'Shea
year,
pointed
defensively
out.
they weren't fine. They were the best team in the league by a mile at home. And the Cowboys, I thought,
At home.
kind of did what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I think Dallas was the underdog in this game. Mike Zimmer was excellent. Mike McCarthy was great. Dak did not press because he had gotten the new deal.
True.
So this is the only grade they could receive, and I compliment Professor Broussard for.
Okay, let's talk about this. Listen, this is what the Dallas Cowboys do all the time. They beat bad teams. And everybody loses their mind and acts like, oh my God, the Cowboys have arrived. The Cowboys are a good team. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. That's where it ends there. Not great, not elite, not top. But for whatever reason, every time they get a win, we act like it was elite, like it was top level. Nick has just admitted that he thinks that the Browns are one of the worst teams in the NFL. So why is beating them like this impressive in any measurable way? Please tell me. Deshaun Watson looked absolutely awful, atrocious. And no, it wasn't because of just a spectacular defense of the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, it just wasn't. He was missing guys wide open by like 8, 9, 10 yards. He looked awful. Dak Prescott was not good. 59% completion percentage, bottom 9. Okay? He had 179 yards, right? He beat players like Justin Fields and Will Levis. Congratulations on that. 5.6 yards per attempt, bottom 10. Bottom 10 in QBR, and could have had 3 or 4 interceptions. Even Tom Brady himself pointed out, Dak got lucky there. So literally, Dak could have had multiple interceptions. Multiple turnovers. That's a real thing that is just pure luck that it didn't happen that way. So yeah, this game could have unfolded very differently if one, they had a competent quarterback, and two, if the Browns were actually able to come down with those interceptions. So no, I'm not gonna let this overinflation, especially the reason why I'm also so intense right now for this, because I know he's going to say that the Eagles are not good. I know he's going to say that that was not a good win when the Eagles beat a significantly better team, a top team in the NFL on a slippery field where Jalen Hurts was way more impressive, where he definitely had some drawbacks with some turnovers, which we'll talk about in another video. But if you're going to give the Dallas Cowboys an A for beating a bad team, one of the worst teams in the NFL according to Nick, well, then you better give teams an A for beating significantly better teams. You're supposed to do that. Like Bruce said, the Cowboys are supposed to do what they did against the Browns. And it still wasn't that pretty. Dak Prescott should have played significantly better. He did not look that good. And again, I'm not going to rag on Dak Prescott because I've defended almost all quarterbacks who have not played good week 1. Because virtually every quarterback has had turnovers, including none other than the Patrick Mahomes. But I'm just not going to act like this was anything different than what the Cowboys always do. They play great against bad teams, and it makes everyone lose their mind and think this is the year for the Cowboys. Look at this, 33-17. They take care of business. They absolutely do against these bad teams. Which is why Brew has that running bit of the tomato cans. And again, credit to them. But I don't understand why the media has to act like these are big, massive wins. The Baltimore Ravens loss to the Chiefs is more impressive than what the Cowboys did. It just is. What the Detroit Lions did, the Rams loss versus the Detroit Lions was more impressive than what the Dallas Cowboys did. So you just have to look at it more closely. And I wouldn't be coming this hard on the Cowboys if they weren't coming this hard on the positive of them. I just feel the need that I just have to balance it out because it just doesn't make sense to me. We could say, yeah, they played really good, but we gotta pause. I said this for the Chargers win. I said this for the Buccaneers win. I'm trying to think if there's any other wins that I could say this for. The Minnesota Vikings is like, okay, let's tap our brakes here a little bit. Looking good, nice win, but didn't play the best of teams. You're supposed to beat up if you're playing a bad team week 1, you better win, and you better win big. When Deshaun Watson can't even hit a wide open receiver throwing 10 yards over his head, throwing passes out of bounds, you better win. The score better be 33-17. When the defense is dropping interceptions and not be able to get any momentum going, yeah, you better win. You better win by 3 scores. So, a round of applause for doing what you should do in very easy, perfect circumstances. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? How do you think the Dallas Cowboys did? How do you feel about the reaction to the Dallas Cowboys winning? And honestly, we didn't really talk about this, but also Dak's contract, I guess, and him signing. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.